October 20th, 2011. Sirte, Libya. The world watches in shock the brutal images of the capture and death of Muammar Gaddafi. The man who ruled Libya with an iron fist for 42 years was hunted and killed by rebels, with NATO air support. At the time, the official Western narrative was simple: a humanitarian intervention to save the Libyan people from a bloody dictator during the Arab Spring. But years later, the dust has settled, and revealed documents have brought to light an uncomfortable question that many geopoliticians ask. Was Gaddafi killed for being a dictator, or for becoming a direct threat to the global financial system dominated by the dollar and the CFA franc? Today, we will dive deep into the story that the news of the time didn't tell. We will talk about Gaddafi's bold plan to create a single currency. We will discuss his dangerous alliances with Russia and China, and how Iran learned the lesson of Libya to survive to this day. If you want to understand the world, stay with me. This is not a short summary. It's the complete explanation you need to know. To understand the fall, first we must understand the vision. Gaddafi was not just the leader of Libya. He saw himself as the king of kings of Africa. His great project was the Gold Dinar. Libya accumulated one of the largest gold reserves in the world, for a country of its size, about 144 tons. The plan was as simple as it was revolutionary. His plan was to create a pan-African currency backed by that gold, and to require that Libyan oil and gas be paid exclusively in gold dinars, and no longer in dollars. Why was this a geopolitical atomic bomb? There are two main reasons. First, the petrodollar. Since the 70s, the global oil market is traded in dollars, sustaining the American economy. This system forces all countries to hold dollar reserves. If Gaddafi sold oil in gold, other countries would follow, marking the end of the dollar's hegemony. The second reason concerns the CFA Franc. This currency, used by 14 African countries, is controlled by the French treasury, giving France enormous economic influence in the region. In 2016, declassified emails from Hillary Clinton confirmed the concern of French services. Gaddafi's project directly threatened French influence in French-speaking Africa. Paris and Washington realized that Gaddafi was not just an eccentric leader. He was trying to implode their financial system. But that wasn't his only sin. Let's look at the East. In the years preceding his fall, Gaddafi began moving his pieces toward the East, approaching Russia and China. In 2008, Putin visited Tripoli and cleared billions in Libyan debt. For China, Libya was a giant construction site. In 2011, about 36,000 Chinese workers were building infrastructure. China invested heavily, without asking questions about human rights. The breaking point came when Gaddafi threatened to nationalize the Libyan oil sector, withdrawing contracts from companies like Total and BP to hand them to Russian and Chinese firms. Gaddafi was trying to align Libya with the BRICS bloc, moving out of NATO's sphere of influence. This was the final straw. Now let's look at the reality of 2011. It would be simplistic to say Gaddafi was killed only for his gold. The reality is more complex. In February 2011, the Arab Spring reached Libya, sparking a real insurrection against his dictatorship. France and the UK led the pressure at the UN. Resolution 1973 was adopted to establish a no-fly zone to protect civilians. Russia and China abstained. NATO air power destroyed Gaddafi's army, allowing rebels to advance. Without control of the skies, he was doomed. He was captured and killed in his hometown, Sirte, on October 20th, 2011. Libya's story has become a survival manual for other countries, especially Iran. They decided to do the exact opposite to avoid suffering the same fate. Let's see how. In 2003, Gaddafi committed what many consider his fatal error. He abandoned his nuclear program to please the West. In 2011, he had no remaining deterrence force. In contrast, Iran maintains its nuclear program and has shielded itself diplomatically. Today, Iran trades with the UN and uses alternative systems, living Gaddafi's vision, supported by superpotencies. In summary, saying Gaddafi died only for his gold is too simple, just as saying it was only because he was a dictator. It was a brutal intersection of geopolitics and financial interests. The NATO intervention protected Western interests in the short term, but it left Libya in absolute chaos that lasts to this day. A bitter lesson for the non-Western world. What do you think? Do you think Africa would be an independent power today if the Gold Dinar had seen the light of day? Leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe. Thanks, and see you soon.